Beauty industry cruises. The gangplank of the Aurelian Star shimmered under the morning sun, a floating sanctuary for the world's most elite artisans of aesthetic. Soren stepped aboard, his leather sheer case slung over his shoulder like a quiver of silver arrows. For months, he had felt his creativity waning in the repetitive cycle of his downtown studio. But the Gilded Tide cruise promised more than just a vacation. It promised a transformation of the soul. Inside the grand atrium, the air smelled of expensive sea salt spray and high-end botanical oils. Stylists from every corner of the globe mingled, their own hair a vibrant gallery of avant-garde color and precision cuts. It was here that Soren met Alara, a legendary master colorist whose work he had followed for a decade. She held a glass of sparkling water, her presence commanding yet welcoming, her eyes reflecting the deep blue of the ocean they were about to cross. The first workshop took place in a glass-walled studio overlooking the wake of the ship. Alara stood at the front, her movements as fluid as the waves outside. She didn't just talk about pigment, she talked about the chemistry of confidence. She demonstrated a new, seamless blending technique on a mannequin, her fingers moving with a speed that made the process look like a choreographed dance. As evening fell, the deck transformed into a neon-lit lounge. Soren found Alara leaning against the mahogany railing, watching the horizon turn a bruised purple. They spoke not of techniques, but of the burnout that often haunts those who give so much of their energy to others. Alara reminded him that a stylist's greatest tool wasn't the sheer, but the ability to see the hidden beauty in the exhausted. The next morning, Soren attended a seminar on the business of beauty. He sat next to Kristen, a savvy entrepreneur who managed a fleet of high-end spas. They bonded over the complexities of digital footprints and the importance of creating a salon culture that felt like home. Kristen showed him a series of growth charts on her tablet, her mind as sharp as the silhouette of the ship against the sky. The centerpiece of the cruise was the Art in Motion showcase. The grand showroom buzzed with energy as Alara took the stage for her final demonstration. Under a single, dramatic spotlight, she transformed a model's look using only a razor and a vision. The audience sat in hushed awe, witnessing the intersection of geometry and grace that defined the pinnacle of their profession. Inspired, Soren took part in the hands-on lab the following afternoon. Under Alara's watchful eye, he attempted a complex architectural bob that had always intimidated him. His hands trembled slightly at first, but Alara placed a steadying hand on his shoulder. She whispered a single word of encouragement, and suddenly, the hair moved exactly as he envisioned. During a port stop in a Mediterranean village, Soren and Kristen wandered through narrow streets lined with terracotta walls and blooming bougainvillea. Soren found himself taking photos not of people, but of textures, the way the moss grew on ancient stone, the way the sunlight hit the faded paint. Kristen pointed out the local artisans, noting how their heritage informed their modern craft. On the final night, a gala was held under the stars. Soren stood on the upper deck, looking back at the trail of white foam the ship left in its wake. He felt a profound sense of clarity. The cruise hadn't just taught him new tricks. It had reminded him that he was part of a global tapestry of creators. He wasn't just a hairstylist. He was an architect of identity. As the Aurelian Star docked back at the home port, the air felt different, full of possibility. Soren and Kristen stood at the gangway, exchanging contact cards and promises to collaborate on a future project. Soren adjusted his sheer case, his grip firm. He was returning to his studio, not as the man who left, but as a stylist redefined by the tide.